Hello and welcome to Your Simplified Coin Review. Today we're going to be talking Ambrosus. But before we do, as always, make sure you hit that like button, click the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything we have going on the channel. Also, you have the chance to win a nano ledger and some cryptocurrency. So today we are looking at Ambrosus. As I mentioned, it is a supply chain cryptocurrency. It's coming in at number 186. Man, they put that writing small, don't they? 186 on CoinMarketCap.com. It is a token. It is an ERC20 token built on the Ethereum network. And as is the case with many of the ERC20s, it does have plans in the future to have its own blockchain. So right now, Ambrosus is coming in at almost 40 cents. The market cap is $56 million. Circulating supply is a little over 144 million Ambers. That is the name of the native token. The total supply is 361 Ambers as well. So as you come down here and look at the chart, you see it launched at a pretty good time to launch, which would have been in the fall of last year. And then let's just look since the crash. As you can see, it's had a couple waves, just as always, as we see, following along with what Bitcoin is doing. So the Ambrosus website is really crazy. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. As I mentioned before, I am a website designer, so this was very strange to me. It's a weird layout, and it's basically a slideshow. The whole website is a slideshow, or at least the homepage. So all you got to do here, as you can see, I'm in the middle of the screen. You don't have to be in the middle of the screen. But instead of moving down, scrolling down, and scrolling down the page, when you scroll down, here comes the slide, spaceship. So a spaceship almost got me the first time, so I had to dodge it a little bit. But then it goes into the slides of what it is. So, and this is really important, Ambrosus is a blockchain-powered Internet of Things network for food and pharmaceutical enterprises, enabling secure and frictionless dialogue between sensors, distributed ledgers, and databases to optimize supply chain visibility and quality assurance. So I think the main two things there to note, number one, is we looked with Origin Trail, how it's trying to do basically anything that can be on a supply chain. That's what Origin Trail wants to go after. But Ambrosus is specifically for food and pharmaceuticals. So really it has to do with like making sure, like I said, the quality assurance that everything's the way it should be, that nothing is fake, nothing is fraudulent, that no one touches it that's not supposed to touch it, that if it's temperature related, that the temperature is staying exactly where it needs to be the entire time, and things like that. So it's really hyper-focused on what it's trying to do. And then the second thing, like I said, is the quality assurance. There are entire departments of companies that are dedicated towards quality assurance. But if you can have all that kind of automated on the blockchain, like think about that, what that would do for freeing up companies' resources, where they don't have to have an entire department of people. And it just proves that, one day we're all going to be replaced by robots. But as we continue the slideshow here, I'll scroll down and then it pops up. It talks about the supply chain optimization, the logistic tracking, the anti-counterfeiting, and the quality assurance. Those are really all of the things that go into this blockchain. Obviously, you want to make sure things are getting where they need to be in the most efficient possible way. You want to make sure that everything's being tracked and you understand where everything's coming from. Obviously, the quality of what is on your supply chain needs to be optimal. And then the anti-counterfeiting, like we said earlier, with, to make sure that nothing is fraudulent. So all the products on the supply chain are going to come with an anti-tampering product tag that's going to be able to make sure that what is in the bottle or the container is what it's supposed to be. So all of this obviously is tracked digitally, which is pretty cool. So we'll get down to that in here in a second. So like we were just talking about, this is the sensor system. So everything on the supply chain is going to have one of these sensors to be able to track it. Then you have the blockchain protocols, which basically consists of, the way that the supply chain communicates with every piece or every person who needs to be communicated with on the blockchain. Then you have the secure data storage, which is basically going to be where everything that is tracked, the data for that tracking is stored. Then you have your developer tools, which will be your decentralized apps and things of that nature. So as we were talking about, this is in the pharmaceuticals / medicine and food range. They do have on this page here, they talk about a little bit of commodities and high value products, which would be like, luxury items, watches, things like that. But the medicine and the food are the main focus of Ambrosus. So with a lot of these products, they have a native token, but people say, okay, well, why do you have a token? Well, with the Amber token, this is basically the foundation of the Ambrosus network. So with the Amber token, you can run operations. So what this means is anytime you do anything on the network, you record an event or anything like that, that basically that Amber is going to be, go towards paying the nodes to record that action. Then you have creating digital certificates. So if you want to digitalize something like a real world asset, you can do that also with a digital certificate, and you'll be able to preserve the longevity of your product on the blockchain. Then we have the be part of the network, so you can stake your Amber into master nodes. So those are the 3 ways that basically you can use the Amber token. So a quick look at the team. As you can see, Angel Versetti is the CEO. And as always, I really like how you can link to a lot of these different profiles for each one of these, the team and the advisors. So a quick look at the LinkedIn page of Angel Versetti. As you can see, he is the CEO. He has quite a bit of experience before becoming the CEO and co-founder of Ambrosus from December 14th to last year. He worked with Versetti and Company as a crypto investor. So he's been in the space for quite a while. As you can see, he also is a consultant and project lead for investments in emerging technologies for SCP, which is part of the United Nations, which we'll talk about that here in just 1 second. He has a master's degree in international public management, and so he really has a good resume of both experience and education. So back to the United Nations here. Did you know Ambrosus partnered with the United Nations 10-year framework Sustainable Food Systems? Blockchain can do more than record food safety. It is immutable nature, can be used as a point of proof in the world of food production. This is very important. So Ambrosus actually has a partnership with the United Nations. They also recently got into the Swiss Food Research group that does research obviously into food and food tracking and food supply. And Ambrosus really seems to have its hand in a lot of different things. And so they also have a strong presence on social media. If you go back to the website here, you can see at the bottom of the page, they're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Telegram, LinkedIn, GitHub, Reddit, pretty much everywhere you can find them. This is one thing that is a strong point of this team. They are very involved in social media. As you can see on their Twitter page, they have 17,000 followers. They do seem to tweet just about every day. And one thing I like is, even though their social media presence is pretty strong, they recently tweeted on Twitter that I don't guess you can tweet anywhere else, but they tweeted on Twitter that they're looking for a new social media manager. So if you have experience in social media management, you can take what is already good that they're doing in a good presence and make it even better. So you can contact them about that if you're interested. But I like that they don't seem to take the status quo for the answer. I like that they're very hyper-focused. They have a strong partnership with the United Nations. Well, at least a partnership with someone who's as well known as the United Nations. There's a lot to like about this project. But you have a cryptocurrency that seems to be doing a lot of good stuff, has a good partnership, strong social media presence, good team, and yet they're really low on coinmarketcap.com. And I really think that has to do with the bear market. So when you have a bull run, people are looking for the best cryptocurrencies to invest in. But once you get to the bear market, people are really looking just to kind of trade out of stuff and trade into stuff to get little Satoshi gains here and there. So people aren't as prone to jump into something and want to hold it or hodl it, if you will. And I think that hurts cryptocurrencies like Ambrosus that are doing good stuff and making a lot of improvements during the bear market. But what I believe is it's very undervalued. And once we finally do get to a bull market, I think something like Ambrosus will be one that could rise pretty quickly into the top 100. I don't know how exactly high it can go. So I definitely put Ambrosus on my list of coins and tokens to watch for this year. Who knows? We could be in a bear market for another year. But I do believe that at some point we're going to come out of it. And when we do, it's going to be coins and tokens such as Ambrosus that could rise pretty quickly. Like I said, at least in the top 100. Not really sure how high it could go from there. There's a lot of good projects in the top 100. There's also some that aren't that great. But I think really where we'll see a lot of movement in Ambrosus is in the 1 to 200 range. I think it could rise pretty quickly, up to around number 100 once the bull market starts. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope you learned about Ambrosus. I really enjoy looking at the supply chain. Cryptocurrencies is one of my favorite sectors because, as I mentioned several times, the use case for it is very strong. And, the use case, it can be used immediately. Everybody wants to know where their stuff comes from. That's especially with their food and their medicine, that's becoming more and more a highlight, in especially the United States. Everybody wants to know where everything was made because they want to make sure what they're putting in their body is safe or their children's body is safe. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, enter our contest. Until next time, that was your Simplified Coin Review.